I managed to get my hands on the brand new McFarlane Toys Mortal Kombat Classic Kitana Red Platinum action figure. In case you don't know, Red Platinum just means that it's only officially available in physical brick and mortar stores like Walmart, Target, and GameStop. Online-only stores like Amazon, or even McFarlane's own website aren't supposed to have it available to order. In a lot of cases though, especially in my area, it really means that the figure will end up being an eBay exclusive. However, in Kitana's case, I was pretty lucky to walk into Target and find her all while having a Target Circle 25% discount code ready and waiting for such an opportunity. With the package now out of the way though, once Kitana has completed the full rotation on the spinner, I'll bring her down for a closer look. For the most part, if you're already a collector of other McFarlane Toys lines such as DC Multiverse or the MK11 line, you should have a pretty good idea of what to expect here. Next, I'll give you a nice slow, up and down look at both the front and back of the figure. Overall, it's a pretty accurate sculpt featuring the common articulation points. Just a quick FYI, while the box art does show artwork from the MK2 arcade cabinet, the design of these classic figures really come from the classic costume skins in MK11, so none of the new figures are entirely accurate to their original 90s designs. She's pretty limited on accessories, really only coming with one open fan and one closed fan if you don't count the display stand. I really wish they would have included one more of each fan position since she commonly uses two at the same time. Now, for a closer look at her face sculpt. Honestly, it's a bit lacking when it comes to detail. Can I tell that it's Kitana? Sure, but I do think it could have been a bit better with just a bit more sculpting. In reality, the same could be said for her entire body. Granted, on places where there's an articulation cut, like where the butterfly socket fits into her shoulders and where her thighs fit up into her tunic, there's appropriate differences in depth, but the top of her boots and gloves are just black paint lines. On the plus side though, her black waistband is an outer layer on top of her torso sculpt, and her hair sculpt is done really well. It's probably her most detailed feature. Honestly, as much as McFarlane has liked adding unnecessary details to his DC figures, it's kind of weird seeing just how simplistic this is. Next, I'm going to go through her articulation, but first, here's a quick balance test. As you can see, she can hold the super kick position all on her own without the use of the displaced, and even if I bring the other leg down, she's still able to keep her balance without falling over. Beyond that, Kitana does maintain the common articulation points and style that McFarlane has come to use in recent years, primarily in the neck, upper torso, and waistline. She gets a decent range of motion with it, but it could be better. Her shoulders do get the full rotation plus the butterfly movement. She does include a bicep swivel, double-jointed elbows, as well as the rotating wrist peg. Her legs can just about split to a straight line, and are really only hindered further by her tunic. Then, of course, there's no real thigh cut, but her hips can still rotate at the joint. Along with that, she has double-jointed knees, rotation just above the ankle joint and rocker, plus the toe joint. So overall, it's pretty easy to get her into some nice-looking combat stances. Honestly, the most difficult thing about her is keeping the open fan gripped into a hand. While not impossible, it gets knocked back loose pretty easily. Now, for a quick comparison to other lines, you might have Kitana does scale pretty well with the Storm Collectibles MK line, so if you're like me and just want to use McFarlane to fill in the gaps they left behind, this classic line will work fine for that. Of course, they're basically using the same scale as the DC Multiverse line, so you can also use it next them if you're looking to recreate the MK versus DC fights. If this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome to Civilian Collectibles. Hi, my name is Seville, and here I like to discuss my passion for action figures, as well as other collectibles, mostly inspired by my favorite movies, TV shows, video games, and wrestling. My ever-expanding collection features superheroes, sci-fi icons, and more, spanning a wide range of IPs, while most of my collection is based on live-action performers. I do occasionally sprinkle in characters from my favorite DC comic stories. If you're enjoying what you see so far, be sure to do all the things and come back for more. With all of that said, it is now time to go through my guidelines for a complete and fair review. It is a brand new sculpt that is fairly accurate to the character, but it's not particularly detailed in some areas. The body proportions are good, the articulation works fairly well, and she has great balance. I didn't experience any quality control issues with mine, but it is lacking a bit in accessories, especially for the overinflated retail price of $30. I was happy to easily find her in Target though, leading my final score to a 7 out of 10 rating, meaning she is still pretty amazing and worth owning for all fans of the character. While she is certainly not a flawless figure by any stretch of the imagination, I do think that out of the few Kitana figures that have been made over the years, this is the best one to date. Therefore, I do recommend adding this McFarlane Toys Mortal Kombat Classic Kitana action figure to your collection. Thanks for all your support so far. It's really what keeps this channel going. Now, for a quick note before we finish up, I utilize an AI voice clone to help me deliver a clear and consistent experience because of the speaking challenges that I face in my day-to-day life. Don't worry though, this really is my voice that you're hearing. While I absolutely do enjoy sharing my collection and enthusiasm with you all, it became clear to me that recording the speech needed to continue producing videos required more energy and focus than I was able to maintain, especially after an exhausting day as a sales professional. Due to speech impediments such as stuttering and dyslexia, the final product of my earlier videos only came after dozens and dozens of retakes, along with hours and hours of editing. Now that I can rely on my AI voice clone to handle much of that responsibility, I am able to provide a steady supply of engaging content for you, my valued audience. With all of that said, the last thing I want to do is give a quick shout out to the awesome people who helped make this channel possible. My Lionhead logo was created by Brian Leblanc Fantasy Art, and all of the music you have heard in this video was created by RJ Hughes. Check out their socials in the description to find more of their work. And if you want to see more from me, click on the next video you see on the screen now. I'll see you over there.